What's good? It's Woog. Well, Inoue versus Donaire Part 2, the follow-up to their 2019 Fight of the Year on most people's, list, Fight of the Year for 2019. The rematch between Naoya Inoue and Nonito Donaire just wrapped up, and it resulted in a second round knockout for Naoya Inoue. And in this fight, they were using like puncher's gloves, right? So both guys were cautious in like the first minute and a half of the first round. And Nonito Donaire actually had better footwork and faster footwork than I thought he would have. I think even Andre Ward on the broadcast had commented on his improved footwork in that first round. But I did think that Inoue's movement had Donaire reaching just a little bit. And so, they traded maybe a couple hooks and, they were kind of mixing up the attack high and low, but nothing super flush and regularly was landing in the first half of the first round. But then they started to really exchange with about 45 seconds left in the first round. They exchanged hooks, and then there was a moment where they kind of went head to head, shoulder to head. And then when there was a little bit of space or distance created, Naoya Inoue shot a short, relative to his looping, longer, fast right hand, shot a short right hand that just splashed on the side of Nonito Donaire's head, put him on his butt. A bad knockdown. It wasn't a flash knockdown because when Donaire got up, you could see that he was a little bit stiff-legged where he was trying to steady himself. Like he wasn't stumbling, but he was firmly planted to where he needed to just stay put and not take one step anywhere because it looked clear that he was on unsteady legs. So this knockdown occurred right before the end of the first round. So he was more or less saved by the bell. The second round starts, and Donaire, you can see that he's trying to get some bounce back in his legs and kind of bending his knees to try to, just steady himself and to be able to be okay. And you could also see that he threw a hard looping right hand that was almost a little bit uncharacteristic, where he really sold out on that right hand. And I think that it was almost a desperation punch that he threw. But shortly after that, he got hit by another left hook. And then Inoue, with all of his devastating punching power, was kind of methodically breaking him down and just looking for the opportunities to shoot his power punches, and shortly got Donaire out of there. He hurt Donaire multiple more times where Donaire started to get rocked and wobbled and went against the ropes and just took a lot of fire. His mouth was wide open. He was in all types of trouble. Absorbed a few more hard body punches, a few more left hooks to the side of the head, and a few more combinations that were kind of 1-2, where that's the one that ended up finishing him off. It was a combination that ended in a straight right hand, and Donaire was already kind of up against the ropes, and then he ended up just on his back. Ref called it off, even though Donaire was able to beat the 10 count. The ref had seen enough. I mean, Inoue's power is nothing short of crushing and devastating. One of the best punchers, pound for pound, in the sport. And he basically just blew Donaire out today. I don't know if the same result would occur if they ran it back a third time, but it was, the margin for error, it seemed, especially early in this fight, was so slim that once Donaire got hurt with about, 20 seconds left in the first round, he never really fully recovered. Once he was hurt, he was compromised, and it was only a matter of time before the monster, Inoue, got him out of there. It was pretty crazy to see. It happened pretty suddenly. So, in the wake of this, I don't know if Nonito Donaire, the Filipino Flash, the legend, retires. Something tells me that he still doesn't retire. I don't know if he stays at 118 or if he goes back to 122. I don't know, because before he settled back into the 118-pound division, because he was fighting at bantamweight way, a long time ago. But his fluctuation between divisions, during like the late prime of his career, between the time that he knocked out like Montiel and then he started losing to like Rigondeaux and then Frampton, Jesse Magdaleno around that time, it was in Nicholas Walters when he got knocked out by the axe murderer, Nicholas Walters. It was mostly fluctuation between 122 and 126. And so then back down to 122. Then he went all the way down to 118. That's when he entered the World Boxing Super Series, fought Donaire the first time, and then beat Ubali for the belt, and then beat Gaballo. So he was on a roll. But that roll pretty much stopped here with this devastating second round knockout. And as for Inoue, I mean, damn. So I don't think that he's going to be campaigning too much longer in 118. I mean, the chatter was that he might go up to 122. That's the division that currently has Stephen Fulton holding 2 of the belts, MJ Akhmadaliev holding the other 2 belts. And I mean, if you look at 118, the division that the monster Inoue is currently in, he's got 3 of the 4 belts. He's beaten Donaire, who's the next highest ranked in the division. John Riel Casimero, who knows what's going on with that guy right now. Emmanuel Rodriguez, the monster beat him in that Super Series. Jason Maloney, he also got knocked out by the monster. So yeah, there's not too much more work for the monster to do at bantamweight right now. So it would be very interesting if he goes up to 122. I mean, let alone the 2 champions in the division, Stephen Fulton and Akhmadaliev, but then you also have Brandon Figueroa, Angelo Leo, Luis Neri. Very interesting division. So yeah, I'm going to keep my eye on to see what's next for Naoya the Monster Inoue, but boy, he did deliver big in Japan with this devastating knockout of the Filipino Flash, the legendary Nonito Donaire. But yeah, let me know if you caught that. Again, it happened so suddenly. I'm just like sitting there, wow. And hats off to Nonito Donaire. I mean, he has been such a trooper over the past few years. Like, I had kind of written him off back when he was losing to Jesse Magdaleno pretty badly, which was still after he got knocked out by Nicholas Walters. And then, you know, after losing to Magdaleno, he had lost, you know, pretty convincingly to Carl Frampton as well. So for him to have this like late career resurgence in his late 30s, almost 40 years old, it's been pretty remarkable. But yeah, this was a crushing defeat at the hands of Inoue. By the way, shout out to the band Chai out of Japan. I wanted to rock this. Chai, they're kind of an indie band out of Japan, kind of indie pop, indie rock style. Give them a listen. They've got a couple really good albums out. One of them is called Punk, and they've released 1 album since that. They had a 2021 album as well. Give them a listen. But yeah, let me know what you thought about Inoue versus Donaire 2 in the comments, and please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are into the fight talk. I'm Woog. Thanks for tuning in.